party when it's midnight, keeping it tight. If a nigga wanna go to war, it can get dark, but we stay bright. Coming like a night, it's on sight. If it touch my sleeve, niggas around there wanna disagree when it's clear that I'm speaking facts.
Good morning. Today is another very interesting day. We're going to this business event in Austria, which is organized by some of the known Austrian entrepreneurs. And there are going to be a lot of investors, other entrepreneurs, founders of really successful startups. And I am going to be one of the speakers, actually, which I'm very, very excited about. This is my first business event in Austria that I get to speak on the stage of, and I'm super, super excited. Right now it is 7:50, so we're going to be picked up by the event shuttle in like 6 minutes or so. And then we're going to go to the venue, and I have no idea how it's going to be or what it's going to be during the day, but there's going to be a lot of networking, and I'm a little bit anxious about my talk, but also super excited because I'm sharing my story of coming to Austria as a foreign student, basically being broke and having nothing, and then building it step by step from scratch to the level that I can now be on the stage along with other super successful Austrian entrepreneurs, talking to the audience of also really cool people, actually. So let's see how it goes. Sitzt gut, glaube ich.
Gut?
Ja.
Okay, ja. Dann werde ich das Kabel einmal durch die Jacke durchstecken.
Deine Ohrringe schauen gut aus. Sehr professional, ja. Jetzt sind wir am Test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm fully equipped. We need to do a quick technical check before. And I think we have 15 minutes before going on stage. There is our host here. Hi, Martin.
Hi, servus. Freut mich. Ready?
Ready?
Ja, sehr gut. Countdown läuft, wir haben nur 20 Minuten, dann geht's los.
Das Event läuft super.
Es läuft sehr gut, wir sind alle happy. Also, nein, passt gut. Sehr smooth. Wir sind in der Zeit. So, du wolltest es auch schaffen. Das geht sich aus.
Ich habe brav geübt, wie ich gesagt habe, dass ich in 20 Minuten schaffe.
Cool. Ja, mega. Sehr geil. Ich darf dir ein bisschen ankündigen.
So I'm just a little bit nervous actually, but pretty excited to share my story and do the presentation. It's actually more excited than nervous.
Tolle Geschichte. Den Podcast haben wir schon gehört.
Ach so, ja. Ich glaube, durch den Podcast kennen mich jetzt viele in Österreich.
Jetzt ihr mal Haus baut.
Ja.
Grüß dich, hi, was du mal gehen? Ganz der Architekt.
Das ist ein Bauunternehmen.
Architekt.
Ah.
Also alles Baumeister bin ich noch nicht.
Zum Beispiel, wir haben jetzt neulich einen Business Mentor in den USA. Und natürlich gibt es in den USA diese Hotspots, wo wirklich sehr viele Entrepreneurs sind. Und die kennen sich auch untereinander. Wir machen jetzt gerade aus, dass wir einen Monat dort sind. In San Diego sitzt er und er hat auch viele Unternehmer umherum. Also, weiß ich, Gary Vee kennst du wahrscheinlich, also der ist auch befreundet mit ihm. Und der hat auch vorgeschlagen, dass wir die ganzen Freunde von ihm auch kennenlernen. Und wir haben gesagt, es ist zwar ein bisschen überwältigend am Anfang, aber haben wir gedacht, das ist die beste Umgebung eigentlich für deine eigenen Ziele und eigene Ambitionen. Einfach ein bisschen Feuer reinzubringen, statt jetzt in Wien im Homeoffice zu sitzen.
Nana, Janashia, und ich glaube bei der Nana, so viel kann ich jetzt schon mal sagen, werdet jetzt in den nächsten 20 Minuten eine unglaubliche Founderstory hören. Die meisten von euch oder viele von euch vermutlich haben unsere Podcast-Episode Nummer 58 gehört. Das heißt, man kennt ein bisschen auch die Story, die von der Nana kommt, beziehungsweise wo die Nana auch dahinter steckt oder wer hinter der Nana steckt. Und es ist eine ganz interessante Anekdote, die ich gestern auch beim Speakers Dinner kurz erwähnt habe. Was ist denn das, was die Nana und den BDM-Podcast verbindet? Und das war ganz spannend, als der Florian und ich letztes Jahr gestartet haben mit dem Podcast. Kommt immer einmal im Jahr diese LinkedIn-Liste raus, was sind so die größten LinkedIn-Influencer in Österreich. Und da war die Nana mit Abstand die Nummer 1. Ich glaube damals, weiß ich nicht mehr genau, jetzt hat sie über 230.000, 240.000 Follower auf LinkedIn. Also sie ist immer noch Österreichs Nummer 1 Follower und Influencer auf LinkedIn in Österreich. Und zusätzlich, und ich glaube, das darf man auch nicht vernachlässigen, hat sie 1,3 Millionen Subscriber auf YouTube. Und wie das funktioniert, von 0 auf 1 Million zu kommen, wird sie uns in den nächsten 20 Minuten zeigen. Liebe Nana, sie wird in Englisch präsentieren, das ist auch noch ganz wichtig, weil dann geht es leichter von der Hand. The stage is yours, Nana, bitte komm auf die Bühne. Danke dir.
Danke sehr. Let's get to it. It was September 2013, and I was sitting in a plane from Georgia to Vienna. I knew I had to leave my country to escape society that held me back as a woman and made it incredibly difficult to pursue my goals. And I knew that I could do much more in a free environment, even if that environment meant a completely foreign country where I didn't even speak the language of. So when I landed in the airport, I knew that a new chapter in my life was beginning. I called it Austrian Dream. My hands were a little bit shaking when I showed my passport in the border control. I was scared and nervous. Everything was new to me, the sounds, the smells, I was a little bit overwhelmed. I had a piece of paper in my hand that said where I needed to go from the airport. I read Westbahnhof. There was a person waiting there for me, someone I knew just from the internet, my couch surfing host, who was generous enough to offer me to stay at their shared student apartment for a week because I didn't have a place to stay yet. So the first night in Vienna, I spent on a bunk bed in a small student apartment room of my host. And I remember staring at the ceiling at night and thinking, did I make the right decision? Can I actually make it? I was terrified. The next day, I had to go to the university to sign up, to register. I didn't have a laptop or smartphone with internet, so I remember I used my host's laptop to write down the directions on a piece of paper, which metro station to get off, which tram to take, which streets to follow, the streets with weird-sounding names like Währinger Straße and Döblinger Hauptstraße. And the next days were very challenging. Every single day was a new challenge. Opening a bank account, learning German so that I could communicate with government agency employees, making friends so that I don't feel lonely, keeping up with my studies, and finding a student job so that I could at least cover my basic monthly expenses. And the first years were also very tough. Food portioning, counting cents in the supermarket because I didn't have enough money for groceries. But I knew there was no way back. I needed to make it. 8 years had passed from that day when I arrived in Vienna airport. The world was in the middle of pandemic. It was 2021, February. And for me, it was a time of intense work and focus. I was sitting in my office in Triple Tower, where I had been sleeping for the last 5 days because I wanted to work on our business and the project intensively. So I wanted to avoid any distractions. No commuting back and forth to home, no watching TV in the evening. That's how obsessed I was with what we were building. So it was evening, and I had this evening ritual where I would log into our payment portal to check our sales numbers, which gave me a little bit of motivation boost to see our financial progress. But that evening was special. When I logged in, I saw that for the first time in years, finally, we had a financial breakthrough. I saw that we would be making 100,000 euros revenue in a single month. We had a product market fit. But more importantly, I knew that this number would sustain. So we would be making at least 100,000 revenue a month every month after that, because we had built a system before that guaranteed a constant stream of customers and constant demand for our product. I did a quick calculation in my mind, and I realized that a dream, the goal of a younger me in post-Soviet Georgia, of one day becoming a millionaire, yes, I wanted to become a millionaire when I was a teenager, would inevitably come true by the end of that year. I remember I got up from the desk, I went to the window, and I had a sense of relief as I watched out to the city that was once foreign to me, but now my home. And that made it possible for me to achieve this goal. And indeed, by the end of that year, we made 1.2 million in revenue. But more excitingly, we made 1.1 million in profit. And that is a profit margin that I know a lot of companies would dream about. But that was not luck or coincidence. We had made very intentional decisions to build our business that way. At that time, we were just two of us, me and my co-founder, Nicole, and we were creating this whole system ourselves. Our product fulfillment was fully automated, which means after the sale, we basically didn't have any work to do. And that's because we had built a university-level education for a very specific IT profession, which was a scalable digital product. So no logistics, no shipping costs, no expensive server costs. And we had built automation to onboard the customers. And because most of our customers were from North America, we wanted them to be onboarded and enrolled into our program even when we were sleeping. Interestingly, our sales process was also automated. While most companies poured millions into advertising, we built something a little bit more sustainable, a loyal community. We had a YouTube channel that had 70,000 subscribers at that time. So only through organic content, only on YouTube, we basically had a constant stream of demand for our product. So our system was very simple. We would post a YouTube video, which would get 100,000 to 1 million views. And a lot of those viewers would want to learn a little bit more from us. They would visit our website, see our product, enroll, and the automation behind would basically trigger to get them onboarded. And that success and that financial number sustained for the next 4 years. So for the next 4 years, we would make consistently over 1 million in profit every year, even after we increased and expanded our team. But more importantly, we also grew our community and our YouTube channel to, as of today, almost 1.3 million subscribers. What happened in those 8 years? Very briefly, I had become a DevOps and cloud engineer, and I started teaching others in the world these very complex DevOps and cloud technologies through organic content. But very interesting to know that this sudden breakthrough was preceded by years of failures in different startups and attempts. We were building mobile apps and desktop applications and web applications in different industries. We were programming everything ourselves. We were working after our full-time work and on the weekends to make some of the idea work. And interestingly, every time we failed and we started a new attempt of a startup, again with my co-founder, Nicole, I was even more motivated. So every time we started a new venture, I thought, now we get to take all this experience from the previous failures, and all the lessons learned and pour all of that into the next venture that increases the probability of that one succeeding. That is a perfect model, right? So as long as we stick to it, one of the ideas will work eventually. And we had the breakthrough in a very, for me, very unexpected way. We did that by dominating a niche market in IT called DevOps and becoming the biggest player in that field. So we had built the largest DevOps education channel and community in the world. But we were not only teaching individual engineers, but also engineers of different tech companies and government agencies in the world. And during that journey, I learned 3 most important business lessons that I want to share with you today. The first one is the power of valuable organic content. Now, when I started creating those YouTube videos, I didn't think that it would become a business. I didn't see it as a business. We had a startup that we were working on almost full time, and this was almost a side project for us. I was deeply passionate about taking these super complex IT technologies that I knew even senior engineers could sometimes not understand and making them extremely easy for them to understand. That gave me a deep sense of fulfillment, and that's why I did it. And funny enough, not selling turned out to become the best selling strategy for us. Because when you genuinely try to help people, this is what happens. At some point, our community started sharing our videos with their communities because they thought it was a valuable thing for them to do. So we had 1,000 engineers almost daily just sharing our content and spreading the word. And that obviously led to very fast growth of our channel. And you know how we started? I had a $100 microphone from my student project. I had a screen recording software that we bought for $50, and I used a MacBook camera, built-in one, the shitty one. And that's how I started creating the first videos. And the very first video that I recorded and we posted on YouTube now has the worst quality on our channel and has 9 million views, which is extremely embarrassing, but also proof that the content itself is much more valuable than the quality of production. And what happened was that with every single video, we would build the trust. We would build a deep connection with the community that was getting this value from us. And when we introduced our product, it was almost like the sale of the product was almost like a natural continuation of our relationship with the community. So we didn't sell the product, we informed the community, hey, by the way, we have this product that we just developed for you in case you are interested. And that was our sales. We were just letting them know that we have it. The second lesson is the power of focus. Now, when you become successful and famous, you get this luxury problem of too many good opportunities. So when I became known as a DevOps expert in the engineering world, companies and government agencies like NASA, IBM, Samsung, Chanel Tech started reaching out, asking me to train their engineers in specific technologies that I was teaching on my YouTube channel. At the same time, we had largest tech conferences in the world that were inviting me to be a speaker with 20,000, 50,000 attendees. I would have loved to accept every single one of those requests, but we did something different. We took a step back and we asked ourselves, what is one thing that has the biggest impact on the long-term growth of our business and our community? And the answer was always the same. Top-notch content on YouTube and improving our product and offer. So we rejected almost all of those requests, and we dedicated our limited resources to doing very few things very, very well. And honestly, it was extremely difficult to say no to those opportunities and requests. But every time we were hesitating, we would tell ourselves, if we do this, if we grow our community, if we make our products better, those opportunities will grow. They will not disappear. There will be more companies and more conferences reaching out to us. So we're not actually losing out. We're just postponing these opportunities for when we have time and resources. The third and final lesson is the power of personal brand. I thought brand was a logo and a name. Obviously wrong. A personal brand is a feeling people have when they think of you. And with our content, because I was so deeply passionate about helping these engineers get a job through an interview, or get unstuck at their job when working on a very difficult technical problem, or get a pay raise, or get some career advancement in their life, they were associating these success stories and the emotions related to them with us, with our brand. And that's how our brand not only grew in size, but also in power. And having a strong personal brand attracts opportunities, events, and people that you sometimes would think were impossible. As an example, in the next few weeks, I may get a chance to talk to and interview NVIDIA CEO and talk about the biggest tech developments and advancements in the world. And we get this type of opportunity not because we actively seek for it, but because our brand is strong enough to attract those requests almost passively. And a personal brand has what's called a lighthouse effect, which means when you become known in one field as an expert or as a strong brand, you can actually expand that influence into other areas. And as a lighthouse attracts ships from different directions, you can attract many opportunities from different ways. And also, as a harbor accommodates multiple ships, you can actually build multiple businesses under your personal brand that are all associated with you. Now, the three statements that I prepared for you are, if I was starting from zero today, I would learn one skill, but not to do something or execute something, but rather to solve a problem. For example, in an AI field, which basically has created a crazy amount of opportunities in the world today, instead of saying, what can I learn in AI to make myself valuable, I would ask, what problem that exists today that most people have in regards to AI that I can help them solve, and I would learn that skill. And once I have that skill, I would actually create valuable content to teach people and actually help them solve this problem. Because if I have the skill, and if I have the community, then monetization is just a matter of time and will. My business hack is saying no to 95% of the opportunities. We rejected an offer from a really large tech company, which was multiple six figures, to do arrays of workshops and consultation, because we wanted to use that time to build a process, a system, and a product that would eventually allow us to make multiple seven figures every single year. So my formula is, if it's a one-off contract, if it's a one-off thing, I always favor something that is long-term, and if I have one-time investment today, it will pay off years down the line, consistently. And I believe that the biggest and fastest way to wealth is not accepting money from people who want to buy your time. My life hack is I have this work mode that I call extreme sprints, which basically means that I take a week, 7 days, where I choose a product or project that is most important and has the most long-term impact for our business, and I work with intense focus and dedication on that thing. So no commuting back and forth, no watching TV in the evening, no socializing, no going out, 14 to 16 hours of work every day for 7 days in a row. And that allows me to go deeper into the momentum and not actually break it. Now I know it may sound a little bit unhealthy, and some of my friends have referred to this as the recipe for fastest way to burnout. But I have been using it for a few years now, and it has been incredible. And I'll tell you why. Because I actually get a deep sense of accomplishment and achievement after this type of sprints. And I'm also able to enjoy the non-working hours and the free time much more because of the contrast. So I would recommend to try it. And finally, talking about the future, seeing and experiencing what is possible when you aim big and dream big, I actively practice to always set the goals which are way beyond my comfort level, to get used to them. And that means our profitable business that we have built for the last 4 to 5 years was never the goal itself. It has become the stepping stone or the resource for me to actually chase and go after much larger, much more ambitious goals. And use this business as a resource for it, as well as the brand. And I decided to, because I was so convinced that I'm actually gonna make it, I decided to start a second YouTube channel that I called the Business Channel, where I started posting videos with the same exact principles that I explained, which is giving free, valuable content, sharing my business lessons, sharing my failures, which I think are much more motivating and important than just the wins, because they're simply the stepping stones to the success. And I thought in the middle of my crazy work schedule, this would be not a good idea, but I then decided showing your failures in real time to people who have dreams, who want to pursue them, but something is holding them back, and sharing them in real time how you actually overcome that and how with resilience you work through them probably would be the most motivating and valuable thing for them. So for me, the sense of fulfillment is not just building wealth for myself, but also sharing my lessons along the way with others who want to pursue those goals. So I see it as a way of clearing the path for millions of people around the world who have dreams that they want to pursue. And this event is actually part of the journey, and that's why my videographer is filming this and behind the scenes and everything. So this is going to be on the vlog, on the business channel. But this event is also a big milestone for me. From a foreign student landing in Vienna airport to now staying on the stage, speaking alongside some of the most admired and known Austrian entrepreneurs and investors that I myself knew and admired from afar before they knew about me. So this is a big milestone moment for me. So thank you for that, and thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm positively shocked, Nana, goosebumps all over the body. And also, thank you so much, because you just mentioned you are declining 95% of the world requests getting you as a speaker, and you are here today. And I think that was incredible. That was everything what we are talking in podcast, everything what entrepreneurial spirit is exactly what you did. Starting from nothing, not knowing a culture, not knowing a language, and we all do know German as to learn as a language is not that easy always with all our very vast and so on and so on. Crazy. We're really
Thank you.
Yeah, and also here a funny side note, because when Flo and I recorded the podcast episode 58 with you together, like a minute before we started recording, Flo asked me,
shall we ask her for the event? Shall we ask her to speak at the event? And I'm like, listen, haven't you heard about her? She declines all of those requests. And I'm okay, let's try. And then we ask her. And so thank you so much for being here. We have one or two questions for you. And one is like...
Wir können die Fragen auf Deutsch auch machen. Das
Okay,
war schon-
okay. Also du sprichst richtig gut Deutsch, also gerne reinhören, Episode Nummer 58. Liebe Nana, du hast ganz viel gesprochen über Success und natürlich auch über Failure. Was würdest du sagen, war dein größter Failure, wirklich auch in dieser kompletten Journey?
Also 5 verschiedene Startups, die wir versucht haben umzusetzen, aber die alle gescheitert sind. Eigentlich, ich habe nie das Gefühl gehabt, dass die Failures waren, weil wirklich, also der Drehpunkt von einem Startup zum nächsten war für mich der coolste Momente eigentlich, wo ich mir gedacht habe, boah, jetzt haben wir einen coolen Winkel noch gefunden und wir können jetzt in diese Weg versuchen. Also für mich war das nicht einmal, wir hören jetzt mit dem auf und machen ein zweites Ding, sondern wir machen einfach weiter. Und von dem her waren eigentlich alle Lessons, was wir da gelernt haben, haben wir wirklich mitgebracht in diesem Tech-Webinare-Business.
Nana, vielleicht abschließende Frage. Es würde ganz viele geben, aber ein bisschen müssen wir auf die Zeit natürlich auch schauen. Aber ich weiß, was mir sehr gut gefällt, was wir mit unserem Podcast auch wollen, dass Menschen über Geld sprechen. Weil du hast gesagt, ihr macht über 1 Million Profit, du willst mehr verdienen. Das war auch immer dein Traum, Millionärin zu werden. Und wir haben es also cool gefunden im Podcast. Du hast dir auch ein bisschen was gegönnt. Erzähl uns ein bisschen ganz kurz diese Reise noch. Was ist passiert? Was waren deine Träume? Was hast du auch gekauft?
So, also erstens, wenn man mit wenig Geld aufwächst, natürlich haben wir diese Limitations, dass man eben geizig ist und wenn man nicht so Geld ausgeben. Und ich habe nie im Leben ein Auto gehabt. Also meine Autoerfahrung war eigentlich von Mietwagen und so weiter. Und ich und meine Freundin / Co-Founderin haben mir gedacht, vielleicht sollten wir ein Auto kaufen. Und das war 4 Jahre nachdem wir das Business gegründet haben. Wir haben gesagt, okay, vielleicht wenn wir ein Auto kaufen wollen, dann kaufen wir was Gescheites. Und dann haben wir gedacht, okay. Und der Wahl lag zwischen... Und ich habe wirklich echt überlegt, oh mein Gott, das ist sehr viel Geld. Wie kann man das ausgeben? Also es war wirklich Überwindung. Aber ich habe mir gedacht, wenn ich jetzt dazu stimme, dann macht das irgendwas mit meinem Mindset, dass ich so ein Upgrade kriege, weil du hast ein Self-Image sozusagen und das ist, wie du dich selbst siehst. Und ich habe mir gedacht, wenn ich jetzt mich als Fahrerin sehe, wie cool wäre das Gefühl? Und das war wirklich so ein Gedanke, wo ich mich gezwungen habe, dazu zu sagen, und es ist wirklich ein cooles Gefühl.
Und sehr, sehr hoch verdient. Nana, vielen Dank. Bitte Applaus. Danke. Ja, Vortrag Reinhard, unglaublich gewesen. Also danke für all den Input und noch einmal, das ist die Idee von heute, austauschen, die Storys hören, die menschlich sind, die gemacht wurden, wo große
Wow. Goosebumps everywhere.
Danke.
Super gemacht.
Danke dir.
Schuld sein.
Ja,
was
ich
hast
habe
du
voll geschwitzt.
So gut gemacht. Richtig geil.
Ich habe gesagt, du bist jetzt zuständig für TikTok und sie postet jeden Tag ein Video von TikTok und einmal im Monat nehme ich einfach die 20 Videos auf in 2 Stunden in meinem Studio und sie posten das einfach jeden Tag. Und so schaue ich das mit wenig Aufwand dort auch irgendwas aufbauen und es funktioniert super. Also,
Mega.
Danke.
Mega.
Ja, ein bisschen geübt davor.
Ja, das hat man, du hast das souverän gemacht. Ich bin irgendwie nervös, gar nichts.
Super, weil ich war schon nervös.
Vortrag gekommen.
Aha.
Genau da bin ich
Echt?
rein. Ja, sicher.
Und was ihr sonst so auf YouTube stellt, das auch kommerzialisieren? Habt ihr dann...
YouTube ist unsere Marketing eigentlich, so unsere Marketing-Plattform. Also TikTok-Algorithmus ist Wahnsinn.
Ja.
Also wir haben schon 20 Videos, glaube ich, jeden Tag gepostet und mehrere haben schon über 10.000 Views oder eine hat 100.000 Views. Also da kriegst du sehr schnell Reichweite. Aber ich glaube nicht, dass du, wenn du ein langes Content nimmst und das einfach so random schneidest, dass du gleiche Qualität rauskriegst. Ja, also das musst du auch separat intentional. Aber es ist auch nicht viel Aufwand. Ich habe literally mit AI einfach die 20 Videos gescriptet, aufgenommen
Ja.
Und ja, ready.
Ja.
Am Anfang vom zweiten Jahr haben wir ein Angebot bekommen, unsere Firma zu kaufen von einer amerikanischen Investmentfirma. Und die haben ja, ich glaube 5 Millionen oder so angeboten. Und das war so ein leichter Nein für uns, weil wir gedacht, wir haben jetzt gerade.
Das wäre so hoch, das ist ganz
Ja.
unrealistisch.
Und wir haben gedacht, wenn wir es verkaufen würden, wäre, ja, was will man sonst machen? Wir würden weiter.
Genau, dann verkauft man vielleicht ein Stück Seele mit.
Genau.
Sozusagen.
Und haben wir gedacht, wir haben auch gemocht, obwohl es viel Arbeit war, haben wir gedacht, ja, wir wollen es eigentlich selber weiter. Ja.
Das funktioniert. Und
Genau. Und haben gesagt, na, machen wir das nicht. Sehr gut. Ja, das ist meine Co-Founderin. Ja. Cool. Ja? Also ihr habt Stand draußen, oder?
Ja, genau.
Deswegen. Eine coole Präsentation. Das habe ich gemeint mit Awareness, damit die Leute überhaupt die Informationen mitkriegen, ja? Worum es
Also wenn man dich auf der Bühne sieht, dann hat man das Gefühl, dass ihr das seid, was ihr da macht. Und da steckt halt viel von euch drinnen. Ja.
Ja,
Das
stimmt.
war bei mir zum Beispiel nicht so. Also das war ein interessantes Business, aber es war jetzt nicht meins.
Weil du sagst, ja, das ist so für mich jetzt auch so ein Punkt, wo ich sage, wo ist, einsetzen kannst du es ja in alle Prozesse. Ich frage mich gerade so, wo starte ich am ersten mit? Mache ich das, pushe ich das mit Agents, dass ich mir das automatisiere mit Content-Ideen, Trends abfragen, vielleicht sogar automatisch pushen, oder gehe ich so einen Step back und schaue, dass ich sie auf der Customer-Side reinnehme?
Also ich bin ein Fan von, zuerst will ich das selber verstehen, bevor ich das AI überlasse, sozusagen.
Ja.
Wenn ich das einmal manuell gemacht habe und wirklich gut verstanden habe, dann schaue ich, wie ich das automatisieren kann, bevor ich gleich zur Automatisierung komme. Ja, die machen wir jetzt nicht so oft, weil wir tun halt unsere Produkte promoten lieber.
Aber es fragen so viele an, da denkt man halt manchmal wieder, okay, dann schreiben wir zurück, machen wir den, nennen wir einen Preis. Und
Sie schickt gleich. Ja, aber das ist auch Leverage, weil wir wollten nicht auf YouTube abhängig sein, wir wollten nicht von Branddeals abhängig sein. Wir haben gedacht, wir müssen ein eigenes Produkt eigentlich machen, weil dann kann man selber unsere eigenen Sachen vermarkten als Sachen von anderen Firmen zu unserer Community. Deswegen ist es wirklich so 5% vielleicht von ganz.
Danke fürs Dasein. Lass dir noch einmal drücken. Ist super gemacht. Sehr toll, gell? Hat mich sehr gefreut. Ciao, ciao. Und wir werden uns wieder.
Vlog, weil wir montieren
Ja, unbedingt. Sag was, dann posten wir auch, überlegen wir auch und schauen wir, vielleicht schaffen wir mal, der Hansi würde auch gerne mal, vielleicht gehen wir mal gemeinsam essen oder so. Mittag oder Abendessen.
Ich bin freuen, ja?
Wenn wir doch da für ein Business-Channel, könntest du da Interview irgendwas machen?
Ja, na gerne, du. Also, weißt du, wenn wir, wo wir auch helfen können, sehr viel ergeben und nehmen immer und super.
Danke,
gell?
Super, ja, war sehr cool.
Cooles Event, also.
Danke. Ja, wir tun auch und bemühen uns auch, gell? Danke, schönen Tag, schönen Abend.
Okay, so the event was really awesome. We got a lot of networking in. The talk went really well. Actually, I was a little bit nervous, but it went exactly as I wanted, and I got a lot of good feedback, which is always very fulfilling and awesome, obviously, when people find your talk inspiring and your story. Very cool connections, very cool people that we could network with and exchange information with. And I think we also have a lot of content and footage. Some of the lessons learned, first of all, crazy thing of building a brand that allows you to get attention or get a platform to talk to so many people and share your story and inspire them, but also having people who are equally like super impressive and doing crazy things coming up to you and giving you compliments, that is extremely fulfilling. And I think in-person contact and communication like this gives me personally a lot of motivation and a lot of additional power and fuel to actually really go at it and go to the next level. So even though I do say no to most of the event opportunities and speaker opportunities to talk to the people in person, because I still see it somewhat as a distraction, of course it has a huge upside of really like filling your motivation vessel up basically with so much awesome energy and so much positive energy to really go back and be like, okay, now let's back to work with a new level of motivation and inspiration. Let's just get to the next level. So I think that is a huge upside of such events, and this event specifically, because it's business and technology and millions focus. That's literally the name of the podcast, which then turned into event, is exactly the type of people that I love talking to, exchanging ideas and inspiration. So it was perfect. So now back home, a little bit of recovery time, and then back to work.